Hey there, it's Rob Wardrop with InXpress. In this video, we're going to talk to Tyler Robertson, CEO of Diesel Laptops. Listen to his incredible story about how he started with $1,000 and has grown it to $100 million in revenue over the last 10 years. And listen to how InXpress has been with him every step of the way. Just tell us who you are and tell us the Diesel Laptops story. I know that we've been working with Diesel Laptops for 10 years, and right from the beginning when you started in your garage, I've loved watching the growth of your company and how it's evolved over time. And tell your story.
Yeah, so I'm sure we'll get into the whole how our paths crossed in the beginning those 10 years ago. But yeah, so
Yeah.
Diesel Laptops, what we do here is we help diesel technicians be better at their jobs. They help them be more efficient. And where it started with was actually providing them diagnostic tools. So way back in the day, 10 years ago, it was really difficult for people to work on their own trucks or work on, if you own an independent shop, to get access to diagnostic tools, repair information, parts information. So the whole right to repair that's happened in automotive doesn't exist for a commercial truck. So we kind of stepped in and said, hey, we got some multi-brand, all make, all model tools. And that's where it started. But we quickly figured out that, man, I tell you what, you hand me like a tool to fix my car. I'm not fixing anything more in my car because I'm not a mechanic, right? Like I don't know what the hell I'm doing. We realized the same thing with diesel techs. You hand them the world's most powerful diagnostic tool. Doesn't mean they're going to go fix more stuff, make more stuff, then make more money the next day. And what we learned with that is we had to give them another piece of the puzzle. So the tools will tell you what's wrong. They don't tell you how to fix it. So we had to create what we call the Wikipedia of repair information. So now you got the tool and you got the knowledge on how to fix what the tool's telling you is going on. Then we quickly learned that there's no continuing education for diesel techs, and technology is changing with emission requirements, safety systems, all the computers, robots driving trucks, all the things that are happening today. And we had to launch training classes both online and in person. And it doesn't matter if you have our software solutions or not. You can learn how to properly diagnose and fix today's complex commercial trucks. And with all that said, sometimes it's like the old Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? You need to phone a friend once in a while for help. So we have a call center staff with diesel technicians and IT professionals because we are dealing with computer-based components. So we kind of go to customers as a solution, not as a product. And it wasn't that way 10 years ago when we first met, but that's the way it's gone today. The market's really responded and said yes. And we're really fortunate to be in the position we are as a company today, and we keep reinvesting in the company.
Yeah, so it's been an interesting journey. 10 years ago, when I think you were working out of your garage when you first started Diesel Laptops, and it was the great entrepreneur story. Obviously, you noticed a need in the market and you have a solution. When I visited you and we looked at a whole palette of laptops, and you were telling me, well, when I started, I bought like 2 or 3 laptops at a time, and it was like this big purchase. Now it's evolved where it's pallets of laptops, and I know you're importing components from Asia, and just seeing the warehouse and all the testing that's going on with the kits that are going out. When you started in your garage, did you envision that? Was that a vision that you had in your mind, moving your facility? I don't know, how many times has it been? 4 times in the last 10 years?
Yeah, we did give the audience a little perspective, I guess, right? We'll call it close to 100 million in revenue last year.
Yeah.
And we're 10 years into this. And I started the company with $1,000 10 years ago, and we bootstrapped it. So we didn't go raise a bunch of capital and go do much investors. We just right place, right time, made some good decisions, and things really worked out well for us. So I remember being stressed out when I was buying like 2 at a time. Like I remember going on eBay being like, man, I hope I can sell 2, because I was doing 1 and 1 and 1. I'm like, I hope we can afford this. And then all of a sudden you're buying 8, 10, 20. Now you're looking at pallet loads of buying these things. It's been a big journey. So no, when I started this thing, I did it for beer money. I thought this would be a good way for me to get some side income. I can do a thing over here. If I would have ever known what it could be and where it could go, I would have quit my job a lot earlier. But in hindsight, it worked out. Time's a teller of all truth. So it really worked out well. I had the right knowledge and experience, and the market was ready, and the market needed solutions for all the things that we were providing. And you just try to build a company day after day and just try to keep growing it. And that was really my mentality. Mentality was never to like just how much money can I make. My mentality was just, hey, can I go create a business here that can go do something pretty special? And it wasn't always that way. That that changes, your perspective changes as your business as it grows. But
Right.
it's been one heck of a journey, man. Like I get an awe walking around. Like I have other locations now and training centers and things through the United States. And I walk in our warehouse and see these rows of laptops. I'm like, who the hell can afford this stuff? Like this is
Yeah.
unbelievable. There's this many things here. And we literally had Panasonic here this week. Like they're talking to us. We're not approaching them. So that's
Oh,
where a
that's
lot of
outstanding.
laptops come from. So we do a lot of refurbishing and whatnot. So it's really, really fortunate to be in the role that I am, in the position I am here at Diesel Laptops.
I've always said, and I tell my other customers about diesel laptops, and especially small startup companies that we work with, all the way up to the larger companies that we work with. And it's like the American dream is still real. Diesel laptops is the poster child for the American dream. It started as a side hustle, but now it's like this huge contender in your market. Hats off to you and your team. What you've been able to accomplish in a decade. It really is amazing, especially without having to go outside and look for funding. And you've really grown it organically from the ground up and branched out into marine and agriculture and other aspects of diesel engines, right?
Yeah, I mean that's the crazy thing. Like as I get older here and the more we do this at Diesel, the more I realize how big I wasn't thinking before. And now I'm
Yeah.
like, oh wait, at first it was like, hey, we'll just do commercial trucks and sell some kits to people here in South Carolina in the area, right? Then I was like, well, wait, they're all over the US. Oh wait, they're all over North America. And then it became, we got into the off-highway diesel world. So a lot of times I say diesel, people think the on-highway trucks. That is our bread and butter. But it surprises people when I tell them there's more off-highway diesel engines than on-highway diesel engines in North America. That off-highway world, like, oh wow, that's the same thing. We can just go do that too. Like it's a little bit of a leap, but we can make it. And then you start to realize, like, well, wait, those same excavators and John Deere tractors that are here are in Australia and they're in Europe and they're in South America and Central America. Why are we not selling there? So as your business grows and expands, like I think one thing we've done a good job here is constantly looking forward and seeing like, hey, what markets are available to us? How are we going to support those markets? And how are we going to keep expanding this company both through product and through new distribution channels and new markets? So that's the challenge growing it. Like it was really fun in the early days to say, oh, we doubled our revenue last year, right? Like I'm not doubling revenue, but I'm still growing at a pretty quick clip, which is more than
Yeah.
double before. But it gets tougher to move that needle every single
Oh,
year.
absolutely. The bigger you grow, the harder it is to grow at that same level. We've done the same thing. And it's interesting because when we met before, you were working full time for who was it? It was
Carolina International Trucks.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and we brought them on as a customer, and you were there. And then when you went on your own, we're like, hey, well, let's help Tyler out. And at that time, it was just me. I wore all the hats. Well, now there's 10 of us, and we have our full customer service department. But as we have grown, we've experienced the same thing where the larger that revenue number becomes, the harder it is to continue to double it year over year. But as long as you're moving forward and learning from whatever mistakes you're making along the way, because you will make those mistakes. As long as you're learning from those and correcting them and really providing a great product and a great service to your customers that sets you apart in the industry, you can't help but to grow.
We all make mistakes. Like I don't want
Yeah.
people to come away with this thinking like I've waved the magic wand over here. I mean, I've made $1,000 mistakes, $10,000 mistakes, $50,000 mistakes, 100,000. I made $1 million mistake. Like, but that's just learning experiences, and you make the best decisions you think you have at the time.
Right.
And it's just a constant challenge. But like, as you said, like as you grow, it just gets more difficult. You got more people, more things to deal with, and that means that you, as the owner or the leader, have to keep changing as well because what you
Right.
used to do, you can't do anymore because if you keep doing those things, you're not going to grow. So now you got
Right.
to do different things, learn different skills. And that's why a lot of companies get stuck at certain revenue thresholds or certain number of employee thresholds. It's not like the company doesn't have the product or services. They just don't have the foresight and the ability to adapt and change and grow and make the next leap that they want to make from one employee to 10 to 5 to 50 to 100 or 200 or 1,000. It's just mentality.
Yeah, no, it really is. You have to have vision, and it's just essential that you're able to cast that same vision. You got to have it yourself, but then you have to cast that vision with those who you're leading, right? And help them see where you can go and how to get there. And it's really an exciting journey to be a small and medium-sized business owner. I love it. So when we first met, well, the InXpress offering at the time was freight, and it was DHL Express International, and we provided DHL option for the international shipping. Since then, we've partnered with UPS, which really puts us in a unique position in the industry. But for those international shipments and having the discounted rates and the service we provided, how did that help in the beginning and how is it helping now?
Yeah, so in the beginning, I was getting orders for international, right? Canada, usually, Caribbean, that type of thing, some stuff overseas, Europe. The problem I had was I didn't know what the heck I was doing, right? So I'm like, oh, I'll just use UPS. And like, it's like, well, first of all, the rates are just like extreme, like just out of this world high. I'm like, okay, that doesn't seem right. It costs that much to ship something just because it's in Canada, whatever. And then we tried US Postal Service, but like, packages get lost all the time and there's no tracking on them. We didn't know what was going on. They're stuck in customs. I had an international package show back up here 1 year later once, right?
Yeah.
Like we just thought it was gone and it shows up literally a year later on my doorstep. So we had all that kind of chaos going on, and it was a small business. It was just me essentially then. Just even trying to use like DHL's website to figure out how to even like do anything. I was like, this is really complex. Like why is this interface like not good? It's really hard to use and figure out. And I had no experience in customs paperwork and bill of ladings and all these things. I'm like, I just want to ship my package from me to my customer and in a reasonable cost and a reasonable time. And that was the solutions were horrible. And I remember running across you guys and using InXpress the first time. I'm like, why is this so much easier and simpler than DHL's own website? Why can't DHL just do what they're doing? This would be much easier. Like it's super easy. Like you guys made it easy for me. And it really wasn't the rates. Like I don't think we've ever even had a conversation with you about discounts or rates. You guys have always done what's fair and put us in the right bucket. For us, it's been like as long as it's reasonable and you guys provide a great service, like that's what we're looking for. And I just
Yeah.
don't want headaches. And you guys allow us to not have headaches when it comes to shipping packages.
Yeah, no, and for us, shipping's what we do, it's what we specialize in, but we also realize that that's not the focus for any business owner out there or even a shipping manager. There are a lot of things that go into those roles, and worrying about a single shipment is not something that you want to be doing throughout the day. And so our goal is always to make it easy and to reduce stress for not only the company but the individuals that are involved with the shipments. Because I would hate for one of our customers to go home upset because they didn't know what was going on with the shipment. And there's always a story behind every shipment. If a shipment gets delayed, like in your case, if a kit's stuck in customs, then there's a customer on the other end that can't do the work they need to do. They can't do the diagnostics. That affects their customer. And so there really is a trickle down effect when something is as simple as there's duties and taxes owed on this and it won't be released until it's paid. A lot of folks don't know that. They just order something and then it's like, oh wait, I've got to face with DHL in order to get this taken care of. And so we understand that. And it's really critical that we see our customers as the shipments affect their bottom line. And it has a direct impact on their customers' experience with them. And so that's what we're all about, is really trying to facilitate and provide a easy way to get it done. I've loved seeing it work with Diesel Laptops. Cody's been your shipping manager for years, almost from the beginning. And Riley's been there from the beginning. I think Riley was with you when you started in your garage, and I love to see the longevity that's there. I remember when I visited you in South Carolina, the culture that you have it just felt like everybody loved working there. There's not very many customers I visit that have a pinball machine in their break room, right?
Well, I am a pinball fanatic, right? So that
Yeah.
that that helps that situation. But yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. Like, I mean, we've been doing business together for 10 years, and you don't do
Hmm.
business with someone for that long if you have a bunch of problems and the products and services don't work. Your customers are what this is all about at the end of the day. And you're absolutely right. Like, I know people don't understand completely what we do, but imagine that there's a farm tractor that's broke down in Alberta, Canada somewhere. And a lot of times these people that are buying these expensive tools don't buy them until they have a problem. They've thought about it. They think they should do it. And like, yeah, I'll get by without it. And then they have a problem. And all of a sudden they're like, can I have it tomorrow? Or
Yeah.
how soon can I get it? Right? Like that comes up all the time for us. And even when customers don't already have the tools, sometimes they need extra cables or extra pieces because it's a new piece of equipment they've never ran across or whatever it is. So we're always there to one, making sure we give that customer great service and we're able to do those things and have that kind of transparency and customers know what's going on and when things are going to get there. And if there is a problem, it's great that you guys can step in and help us sort through those. We're not experts on customs and getting stuff through there and how all that works. Like we just want to get our product from point A to point B and take care of the customer.
Right. Well,
So
yeah, and you shouldn't
anything
be. I
comes.
mean, you should be focused on growing your business and your customers' experiences and getting the tools to the customers so that they can then move on with their diesel issues and whether it's a fleet or a tractor, right? That's the gap that we hope to bridge. The carriers themselves, when you mentioned why can't DHL have an interface that works well, they're so huge. They're enormous companies and they just don't have the bandwidth to provide the kind of service that the small to medium sized enterprise really needs. And that's why we exist as a partner with DHL, UPS, and the freight carriers we use is to bridge that gap so that even the small and medium sized customers have that kind of not only the discounted rates, but more importantly the level of service that we provide. We're small enough that it allows us to be really nimble and we can customize what we do for our customers and really address their specific needs. And that's what makes us successful. It's been a great partnership. We are very grateful to Diesel Laptops just for your loyalty and your confidence in InXpress. And we look forward to working with you for years to come. So yeah, I appreciate you taking time with us today and telling your story. I talk about Diesel Laptops all the time with customers just because you're such a great example of how to grow a business, how to be successful. We're all entrepreneurs, and it's great to have examples of successful entrepreneurs out there that have done it. And even if they didn't look at it and go, oh, I'm going to grow this thing huge, they still entered the market with a great solution and just move forward and continue to grow. And at some point, you become more visionary and you see, hey, we could really take this thing further and really provide the solution to a lot more people. And I think Diesel Laptops has done that in spades and is just a great example.
Yeah, I first of all really appreciate all the kind words and everything. I mean, at the end of the day, I got 1,000 problems here, and what we do with InXpress is never one of them. So that speaks volumes, right? Like it never comes
Right.
up on the radar. Like we got an issue here, and I get that all the time with other vendors and other situations and other things. So having great partners like InXpress, that's really what we look for here at Diesel Laptops. That's what any company looks for. Like partners
Yeah.
that feel with each other better, take care of your customers, and everyone's happy. So thank you again for being with us for about 10 years here now. We're always here to help, and we still refer people to you guys too, because I run into other business owners that have issues. They complain about international shipping when it comes up. I'm like, I know who you got to talk to. Talk to
Yeah.
Rob.
Yeah. That's awesome. Thank you, Tyler, for being with us and for sharing your story.